Hey everybody, welcome back to FeedbackLoop. I'm Jeremy,
I'm Joey.
and we talk about music on this here podcast that we do
Yeah.
because we like doing it.
Yeah.
and
I mean,
it's fun.
there's no other reason to do it. I mean, nobody's listening. It's that we're just talking
Yeah,
into
we're
a
not
vacuum.
profiting off this. I feel like we've repeated this over and over again. Mainly it's because we suck at intros, I think.
Yeah.
Or at least I suck at the very least. I don't want to project my suck onto you.
No, last week
But-
we had to do 2 takes for me because I was just like, bop, dap, bop.
That was great. I loved it and I hated it, and we've moved on.
Yeah.
This week we listened to the album Soft Sounds from Another Planet by the artist Japanese Breakfast, which is a solo act of Michelle Zauner. I don't know if I pronounced that right. That's the way I pronounce it in my head. So that's the way I pronounce it out loud, outside of my head, as it were. I picked this album. I don't know. It kind of felt right coming off of last week's. We did Prom Queen. And it's similar in some ways, some aspects, but I don't know. It felt right. It called to me. I was like, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to see what Joey has to say about it. And so we did.
And we're doing that.
We're doing that right now. We're about to hear what Joey has to say. But the album art for this album, I guess I'll back up. Even before discussing this, I heard of Japanese Breakfast. I had not heard of Michelle Zauner or her other band, which is Little Big League, I think. I should have written that down somewhere. I didn't. But she has another band, had another band. I don't know what the status is there. I found out about Japanese Breakfast around the time that this album came out because I saw a music video, but I don't know where I saw the music video. But instantly when I saw the music videos for one of two songs, I've seen two music videos from them. I'm not sure which one was the first one, but I found it. I fell in love with the sound. It was very different from everything else that I was listening to at the time. So the album kind of stuck with me, and it's a good sound. I think Joey's gonna agree. But the album art for this album, as it were, is a picture of, I'm assuming, Michelle Zauner. I cannot confirm that.
It looks close enough. Like I would say it's probably her. I'm not great with faces, but I would go out on a limb to say that it's her.
Yeah, I've never seen her in other things. Well, I guess I saw her in music videos, but that was years ago. I don't fucking know. I don't do my research. Anyways, you can see her on the right side. It's kind of like a photograph of her on the inside of a dark room, but there's the sun setting outside shining through a window, so you're getting the shadow, the silhouette of her on the wall behind her, but it's kind of doubled up, there's two different silhouettes layered on top of each other, and I'm not sure how they achieved that, if that was a post thing that they edited to make it look that way, or if there was some practical effect that they did there. I feel like it has to be a post thing, because one of the silhouettes is mirrored and facing the opposite direction.
Mirrors are a thing that they can do.
It's true. So maybe they just had some elaborate mirrors set up to reflect the light and bounce it around, and then back to the backdrop wall. Regardless, it's very aesthetically pleasing. I think
it's cool.
It's very orange and very I don't know. It's simple, but also complex. I'm just saying words.
It's very warm.
It is very warm. It is just like the sound of the bass guitar in this album. Track number 1 is Diving Woman.
Oh god, we're diving right into it.
We're diving right in. See, that was a much better clever segue, and I wasn't even thinking about segues. So I feel like I've been talking for 98% of our recording time so far, and you haven't said anything, and I'm just trying to get onto it because I want to hear someone else talk. And we're doing that now with Diving Woman.
Here, I'll say some things now. So as soon as this started up, I don't know, it's called Soft Sounds from Another Planet, and I feel like immediately it fits the bill. It works because immediately there's a spacey, oscillating kind of sound coming through this ambience.
Mm-hmm.
And then just a nice little simple drum beat, echoey guitar. It's almost psychedelic, but not a psych rock type thing. But it's just got that cool kind of echoey, spacey vibe on it. Kind of like what you'd hear I don't know, back in the 70s. I feel like it's just got that cool kind of rockish sound. But I like it. I really like it. I really like the song.
Strong start.
I was trying to skirt around it, but man, I've just been you said it was in a similar vein to Beach Bunny, and like while they don't really sound like super similar and everything, like I can understand it because it kind of scratches a similar itch
Right.
for me. Not necessarily with this song, but with some
Yeah.
of the
It's
other.
just overall, it's kind of like a chill sound. That's just
Yeah.
like nice to groove to.
And man, I have not been able to stop listening to Beach Bunny since we did that episode last week. And this was like the perfect album to kind of try to wean me off of it, because it would
Yeah.
be like I'd listen to a little bit of that, like Honeymoon, I'd listen to like this, and then just kind of go back and forth. And
hmm
it was just a really pleasant week musically because
Yeah.
of that. So,
Dude.
it
Oh
was
my god,
just
dude.
nice.
I can't even. I'm gonna gush so hard next week, but we'll get to that
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's been it's been a weekend.
Yeah.
That is for sure.
I didn't want to mention anything, but yeah.
Anyways, yeah, I totally also get the kind of 70s groovy feel. I really like her voice, which is interesting
Yes.
because she said that she doesn't really like her voice, which surprises me. Well, I mean, I guess it doesn't really surprise me. Nobody likes to hear themselves.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's very like wispy and like airy, her vocals, and I think it fits the kind of aesthetic, the kind of spacey, the big, kind of open, floaty kind of sounds that come through. I love the fucking drum sounds on
Yeah.
this, especially the first track. It's very crisp and clean. I love it. The bass guitar, as I mentioned in my not segue, it's so good and smooth. It's like butter. I love it so much. There's also like a guitar solo that kind of comes in that's like really distorted that kind of caught me off guard, and it kind of like it goes in the opposite direction that the song felt like it was going, but it still kind of works perfectly. Kind of similar. I hearkened to like complementary colors where they're on like opposite ends of the spectrum and they complement
Yeah.
each other well.
Like the way I kind of put it with like the guitar solo, because it does like kind of go in a different direction. It's like the beginning of the song kind of has the openness of space, and then the guitar solo takes it in a direction where it has like the openness of like the desert or something. It's kind of
Grounds
where
it a little bit.
like that's where my mind went whenever I was listening to it. It was a very like ethereal song that kind of just I just wrote it out, man, because it's 6.5 minutes long. Like
It is.
so it's a pretty long song. So it's kind of like a little journey to get you in the mindset for the rest of the album. I guess that was the thought behind it. I really don't know. Maybe there was no thought behind it. Maybe she just made a song and was like, oh, this is gonna be the first song, and it's 6.5 minutes. But
yeah, I mean, it's a bold move for sure, but I think it works because it kind of establishes the setting of the album. I think in a very, at least in a musical sense, it's very like, I don't know, it just kind of it pulls you in. It's good. I like it.
And then lyrically, the song, like, I don't know, I don't want to say it sounded like bleak because it didn't, but it sounded like the way she was singing, it made it sound kind of like a wandering, like she's just out in this openness, and just like her voice is kind of just like wandering its way through this openness. But like I kind of didn't super understand what it was about until I kind of looked into it more. And so it's called Diving Woman, and there's an island in Japan. Or not
South
Japan.
Korea.
What the fuck am I talking about? It's in Korea.
Japanese breakfast.
Japanese breakfast.
You got all these words floating around.
Yeah, it's called Jeju. Jeju. I don't know. I'm trying to learn Korean on Duolingo, but man, I'm not good at pronunciation. But like, so it's got these women on there who just dive and they collect like shells and abalone and sea urchins and stuff and like sell them at a marketplace, I guess. And then she was like, I guess, wanting that type of life and that structure, maybe, or just like I don't know, like you think of that. Like I watched this movie called Octopus Teacher, and it's just like you look at it and like these people diving into waters and like the ocean and playing with these sea animals and doing all this crazy shit underwater, and you're just like, man, that seems like such a nice life. You just wake up and you go do your thing, you come back home, you sell, like you make your money, and then you're just kind of just chilling. So I guess she was just wanting that, but I don't know, because
I mean, in a sense, she kind of was doing that, and I don't know. A lot of my lyrical notes are going to be straight up just like taken from the Genius annotations because she talked with NPR about this album, and she kind of did a track by track thing, as far as I can tell. So it was hard to resist looking at what she actually said about a lot of the songs. So a lot of my notes are pretty much, I don't want to say identical to what she said, but definitely inspired by what she said. This one, she said that at least what I interpreted from her interview script that they have there, it seemed like she was tired of the tour lifestyle that she was experiencing and just wanted to be home and to like make a family, because she said that she feared people were judging her for not being family oriented, which is total bullshit. Fuck tradition. You know, if you don't want a family, you don't owe it to anybody else
Fuck 'em.
to settle down and have a family. Which, I mean, it seemed like she was also kind of wanting it because she had been a touring musician for a
Yeah.
while, and whether that's just the social stigma of it or if she genuinely wanted a family, I don't know. It seemed more like it was the stigma was getting to her. But yeah, so she was just like saying, man, if I just had like a normal job where I could just always be home every night, like that'd be fucking great. And that's what I got out of it.
Yeah. I could definitely see that. There seemed like she wanted a sense of normalcy, which I would imagine you just don't get at all when you're on tour. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, you're sleeping in a fucking van or a bus. Or, I mean, surely she was probably sleeping in hotels or whatever, but like sometimes you probably gotta like sleep on a bus. I don't know, you don't shower all the time, maybe. I don't know what tour life is like. I really only have an idea of what tour life would be like from like watching movies of like
What you've described as tour life is just my normal life.
do you sleep in a bus every night?
Just don't shower, not every night, but just sleep outside in a bus, in a van, in a hotel. No, I don't do that. But yeah, it's. I also don't know what that tour experience is like.
It probably sucks though. I mean, it's probably super awesome, but
I'm sure that was unintentional. But I'm
was.
sticking with it. It probably sucks when you're out on tour, unless you're getting Roadhead.
Then
while you're on the
just
tour bus,
it still sucks, but like in a good way.
Yeah, it's a good suck. Track number 2 is Roadhead.
Boom.
We're not just getting sexual for no reason.
Yeah, that'd be weird.
We just randomly. Well, I mean, I guess we've talked a lot about fucking as the content of songs.
Yeah, but that's not for no reason. If I was just like randomly decided to go that direction for no reason at all, you'd be like, okay,
Roadhead.
Yeah.
Track number 2. We got to get through this shit.
Yeah. Okay.
This is either the first song or the second song I heard from Japanese Breakfast. I mentioned that there were 2 of them. And I'm not really sure which one I saw the music video for or heard first, and I genuinely just don't remember that period of my life very well, I think, or at least not specific like events to where I saw it or why I saw it or whatever. But this was one of the first 2 songs I heard from Japanese Breakfast, and it really hooked me. It's got some nice like dreamy floaty guitars and sound effects and simple clean drums and stuff. The bass, again, is just smooth as fuck, and I love it. And at this point in the album, I was like, yeah, I definitely agree that Soft Sounds from Another Planet is a very apt title.
Yeah.
Because it's just, everything's like, it's soft, it's dreamy, it's smooth, it's just there. It's almost ambient, but it's still very much like grounded in like pop music and kind of like almost psychedelic. It's kind of hard to describe, I guess, because there's not great English terms to describe the sounds other than what we just keep repeating.
Yeah.
I did note though, like listening to the song, I got my notes together last night at like 11:30 at night. I was sitting outside on my deck, and I wrote, "I don't smoke, and I have very little desire to smoke, but this album so far makes me feel like standing outside late at night and smoking."
Oh shit!
It's just like it just feels that way. Like it's such a like a warm kind of like the album art. It's just kind of warm, and it's kind of like, I don't know. It's wistful and dreamy and spacey. It evoked that kind of imagery in my mind.
I 100% agree with that. Like, that just sounds like a really good fucking time.
It does.
But
I don't smoke. So
yeah.
I probably wouldn't actually enjoy the act of doing it.
Probably
in my
not.
In my mind, it feels right.
Yeah. And at this point in my life, I probably wouldn't either. But because that's been a while, man. But so I was looking it up because I couldn't figure out like what kind of words to use to describe all this stuff other than like spacey, ambient, like like clouds or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, I guess it's like dream pop is just the general term for this, which I feel like is pretty. It works pretty well.
Yeah,
It's dreamy, but
it is.
like especially there's this part in the song where these like synthy flute things kind of come in and start playing like these trills and just like a cool little melody that sounds like you're in a cloud, you know.
Yeah,
But
just imagine for the audience. Just imagine the last time you were sitting in a cloud, and
yeah,
that's what it feels like.
exactly. Like
That's what it
it's
sounds like.
easy. Everybody's got that memory, right? But this one, yeah, like so the first song was 6.5 minutes long. This one immediately just chops that like right in half at 3 minutes and 15 seconds, and that's kind of where the rest of the tracks stay
Right.
around that time. Which I like for the sound that this song has. I'm totally glad that she cut it down. Not that I wouldn't have liked a 6.5 minute song, but I feel like the first one was like a good journey into it, and then now I like kind of the consistency with the shorter songs for the rest of the album.
Yeah, it kind of gives her more focus, I think. I think she prefers the kind of shorter songs, and I think her other music is probably along the same lines. So I think the first track, Diving One, was kind of a departure from her normal, typical song length in itself, and I think it shows because these short songs, it's not that they're like you said, it's not that you wouldn't want to listen to more of it. It's just they're very focused and concise, and it's not a bad thing at all.
Yeah. And lyrically, since we were talking about sucking, this like it has a mention of Roadhead, and it's in the context of just trying something to save a relationship. Like I don't like one of the lyrics in the first verse is just you gave Roadhead on a turnpike exit, going home, last ditch desperate, like a makeshift siphon. Like
Yeah.
so she knows it's over, like or that it's not like it's her last ditch effort to kind of just keep this thing on the rails, and it's just like I don't know. Just after that, she says pump and run, pump and run. It makes me think like this is like it's over and this is just happening,
Yeah,
and
she's
like
not getting pleasure out of it.
yeah, it feels
nobody's getting pleasure out of it.
this feels like a sad moment, like
yeah. Sad blowjobs. Womp womp. But yeah, yeah, you summed it up pretty much accurately. She talked about it being like she was realizing that she was trying to save a relationship that was doomed to fail, and she would rather chase her dreams of becoming a musician than being with her boyfriend at the time. And I think it's kind of an interesting departure from the first track where she's talking about wanting to have that kind of normal life where she could come home and not just be touring all the time and not be like the single lonely musician kind of a thing, where this is kind of like maybe doing a time skip back and saying like this is the moment where I made that decision kind of a thing. But it's kind of interesting, very light on lyrics for a lot of the album.
yeah,
A lot of it just like gives time for the music to kind of float their soft sounds, just let it float around.
which is fucking awesome because honestly the music I'm guessing it's since it's her solo project, it's just her like making the music. I mean, I guess she has a backing band. I don't know how the musical writing is.
From what I gathered, I don't know about the writing itself, but the whole album was co-produced with a guy named Craig Hendricks, which she talked about a little bit in that NPR interview from what I saw. And he had a pretty solid chunk of like creative direction on the album there. It was kind of a collaboration between the two of them. Also, the bassist from her other band, Little Big League, is the bassist on this album. So it's kind of a hodgepodge. It's not like she's writing and performing everything. She worked with a producer, Craig Hendricks, and she had other people in the studio with her to record and stuff. But I'm not sure where all of the writing and stuff comes into. Talking about Little Big League, though, the first line is actually a reference to a Little Big League song, apparently, which is called Brackish Water, where they said giving Roadhead on the turnpike. And I called it off when I saw what I'd become. I was holes in shape. So I feel like, and I think she does it a couple times throughout this album, is calling back to lyrics from Little Big League. But she's kind of like doing it in a way that she takes those moments and applies them to her own life and kind of thinks about what that means to her as a person, kind of a thing, instead of just like pinching it and being uncreative about it, I guess.
Yeah, there's a lot of creativity going on in this album, and somebody could make like she's almost like some sort of creative robot made by some machinist out there, just making creative robots all day.
Nice
and
save.
She's one of them.
Track number 3 is called Machinist.
Oof.
We could feel the energy fading. We were waiting for the other one to pick it up, and
then I just snuffed it out like some sort of fucking cruel person choking a puppy.
Indeed. Machinist, track number 3. My first note is Joey's going to love these watery sound effects and synths. Was I right?
You were 100% right, because it just starts out with like these bright and glassy like ambient synth sounds. And it's got like you keep mentioning the bass because it's fucking awesome. So It's got like just a bass. I mean, it's not, I don't think it's a bass playing in the background here, but it's just got like a bassy background type sound going on. And then she comes in with like just spoken word almost. I mean, there's a little bit of like singing to it, but it sounds like, it feels like spoken word.
Yeah.
And there's just like a drum machine kind of thing playing in the background, but just, I really like the electronic approach to this song, especially, I mean, it's called Machinist, so like it fits with a good theme, but she gets like auto-tune in her vocals whenever she starts like singing in the chorus, and it just gets super cool, and like, I don't know, like the retro wave that we keep talking about, like, it's got...
that you keep talking about.
No, you talk about it too, Jeremy. We're talking. This is a discussion. But that I keep talking about.
We as FeedbackLoop keep talking about.
Yeah, we as a corporation keep talking about.
Because we're incorporated.
Everything, whatever you're talking about, Vaporwave is corporation. But it's just like a really nice electronica song. She's got like vocoder like stuff going on in there. Super cool. Reminded me a little bit of like the vocals on like an Apples in Stereo type thing, where he's doing like the vocoder Baba type thing. But this is like the background backing up the actual song. And there's just a lot of sounds that I really liked. This was one that I played a few times just on its own.
It's very like dancey, and it kind of stands out because it does have those kind of more electronic elements than a lot of the tracks on this album. I was thinking about it last night, and I feel like this track specifically would be an interesting / good gateway to getting into like the Banks style artists and like listening to that Banks album. I think this is kind of like a good first step if you're coming from the background that you have, I guess, with your music, or at least what you listen to. That, from my perspective, I think you listen to, I guess. I don't know what the fuck I'm trying to say. I feel like it has a similar sound to what Banks would be, but Banks is obviously like a step further in the kind of poppy, kind of weird way.
Maybe.
Also,
no, you go. You go.
I was just going to say one final. There's a saxophone solo.
Hell yeah, there fucking is. That's what I was about to say.
He fucking kills it. Whoever it is.
Yeah.
He, she, they fucking kill.
You just assume it's a he, Jeremy, because that's six sax.
Anytime I see the word sax solo in my brain, I think of Brick.
Yeah.
From Borderlands, the Borderlands 3 trailer that they did, and I can't think of anything else when I say the word sax solo.
I think of Jack Black playing his little toy saxophone thing.
Was it a saxaboom?
Saxaboom, that's what it was. It's a saxaboom, I think.
Saxaboom.
But
yeah, I can see that too.
Yeah. But it's just really, really fucking awesome. It's just a bop, But
it's very dancey.
Lyrically, this song is like, it seems to be about the end or near the end of a relationship where like the other person is just like cold. Like, I don't know, in the last song, Roadhead, she was talking about like some of the last lyrics where the guy is telling her like, dream on, like kind of just like, you're not gonna, this is ending. You just gave me Roadhead. I don't care about you. Your dreams are gonna fucking die. Like, this dude's just kind of like super cold and unfeeling, and it's talking about, I guess, maybe not being with him, but a person like that. And they're like a robot, and she is the machinist. I don't know if she's saying because she like helped create this person in the relationship. There's no really evidence for that, but a machinist creates robots. So like, I didn't know if there was like some sort of, or if it was just a play on words and that's it.
Yeah, I don't know. She claimed the song is about a woman falling in love with a robot, which I can kind of see that kind of thing where you're falling in love with someone that doesn't reciprocate because they're a robot in the literal sense. and maybe I took it in a more literal direction with what she had said, and I was like, well, she's saying that she's falling in love with a robot. I mean, it's kind of a spacey album, so it's kind of sci-fi, whatever. And I thought, well, maybe the character is falling in love with an actual robot, and she's just kind of like reading a bit much into the inaction because it's a fucking robot. The robot's not going to feel a damn thing. She's kind of personifying it and kind of blaming it for the reason that their relationship didn't work out. But it's a fucking robot. You know?
It's all your fault, robot.
Yeah, exactly. But if they are flying through space, maybe they can just take some time off. You know, see some other planets. Maybe get some nice planetary ambience in the viewfinder, or step outside and breathe in some strange atmosphere. Probably don't do that if you're listening to this podcast in the year 3000 or 3005. We'll go that. We'll go that direction.
Nice.
If you're listening to this podcast in 3005, don't just breathe in strange atmospheres if you have the ability to do so. Make sure you can actually breathe it.
Yeah, because if you try to breathe in space, you're just gonna like fucking, your eyes will like sizzle off of your face or something. It's some crazy shit.
Yeah, I can't prove that because I'm not an astronaut and I've never seen it happen to somebody. But Planetary Ambience is track number 4 is what I'm trying to say.
That's what we do know.
That is the one thing we know about space, and that is the track number 4 on this album is Planetary Ambience. It's just an instrumental track.
Yeah. Nothing
I can say I think will do the song justice. I think the song title sums it up perfectly. It's just some like super spacey ambient greatness. It's kind of like an interlude, but it's beautiful.
This is one song that it's a minute and 17 seconds long. It's one song that I could do with a longer version of it, you know. For sure. Michelle, if I can use if I can be on a first name basis with you and talk to you.
We're on a first name basis with every musician we talk about.
Like if you're listening to this for whatever reason, if you just have some spare time, you know, and want to make a longer version of this song,
an extended play version,
like a 10 minute version, and then
you can release it as like a single on like a 7-inch vinyl or something.
Yeah, that'd be really cool, and I'd listen to it. I don't know anybody else, but I would listen to it. So.
I would listen to it. So
yeah, there we go. That's 2 people that are going to buy this 7-inch vinyl. Just please. But
yeah, it's so good. It's very like, I don't know. It's Planetary Ambience. What it says it does, it does.
And I mean, speaking of Planetary Ambience, she must have just gone and recorded some soft sounds from another planet to get this album.
Are you segueing to the album title?
I'm segueing to the album title, and the album title is segueing to track number 5, Soft Sounds from Another Planet. Because there's a title track on this album.
Title track. Hell boy. I enjoy title tracks. I don't know why. There's something about the fact that like, to me, I guess it kind of makes you think that the album is grounded by this one song, or that this one song is the primary like driving force of the album or the inspiration for it, kind of thing, I guess is why I like it. But I don't know. It's a pretty cool song, and it's a pretty cool album.
I like title tracks when they're not the singles. Like, I don't know. I feel like you can tell whenever a title, like, they're just like, okay, this is going to be the big one. We need to get this name everywhere so people, like, hear it on the radio, whatever. It's like, but, like, stuff like this where it's like, I feel like this sets the mood, and she was just like, okay, this is going to be the song that, you know,
So, side tangent question related to that. If assuming you're singling out someone like Taylor Swift, right? Someone who definitely like sells singles more than albums, kind of a thing. If you had stumbled upon an artist that had a title track, say Japanese Breakfast, say that Soft Sounds from Another Planet was pushed as like the single from the album, would you A, find out about it, and B, would that affect how you felt about this album?
It possibly could, but honestly, I feel like I'm so disconnected from the singles thing that at this point...
That's kind of what I'm getting at, is like, if you heard that... If you listen to a Taylor Swift album, and you saw that there was a title track on it, would you assume that that was the reason for the album to exist, is just a vehicle for that single?
Maybe not Taylor Swift, because
she's an easy target.
Yeah. Well, she's got multiple bangers on each album, so
she does. Maybe the wrong target, but she was an easy target for produced pop.
If it was like a one-hit wonder type deal, like take what was his name? How Bizarre. What the fuck? Who made that song?
I don't even know.
No, who made that song? That was like How Bizarre.
Yeah, I know what song you're talking about.
I can't think of his name.
Let's do some research here. How Bizarre is OMC.
OMC. I knew it was 3 letters, but the literal only reason he has that fucking album is just to put out How Bizarre. If you go to like Spotify or something, there's like millions and millions of listens to that, and then all of his other songs have like maybe 50,000.
So this is definitely off topic. Do you hate one-hit wonders?
No, I actually really like one-hit wonders, and I like it because I feel like, I don't know, it's like uncovering some gem whenever you like find them, and then there's like a bunch of other songs that you like by them or whatever.
So you like the hipster take on it, and that like, oh, they shouldn't have been a one-hit wonder. So you don't like a band that literally only has one good song as much as you like finding other good songs that nobody else is giving credit to.
Yeah, I think I just like good songs. I guess I'm just not bothered.
I'm going to quote you on that and put it on a t-shirt. I think I just like good songs.
Well, I feel like, and this may just completely go against what I was just saying, but like, I don't know. I guess I just don't like the commercialism around it because I'm a fucking hipster. Sure. But like, I don't care if they're just a one-hit wonder, and I'm not gonna hate on it too much if I really just like the song. I don't know. Like
Rebecca Black, Friday. What do you think?
Friday,
the original, not the new remix.
I like the new remix way more than I ever liked the original. See, I feel like the original, it was only like a big song because of how like bad it was. So I like
Rebecca
it.
Black is gonna have some words with you.
I hope she fucking does, because I like her new mix of it. Like, it's good. And she, I don't know, she kind of, what was it? My Moment, was that her other song? That song was fine.
Idea. I know literally no other songs by her.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, she owned it. She seems like she's pretty cool.
I think I remember even at the time that Friday came out, like she wasn't expecting it to blow up, and she didn't necessarily like it. She thought it was just kind of a fun thing to do, and it just kind of blew up in her face, and then she kind of got screamed at by the internet and went away for a bit. Now she's back doing her thing. Good on you.
And now we're back talking about the lyrics to Soft Sounds from Another Planet.
We haven't even talked about the song.
Oh my god.
Yeah, sorry for taking us on that journey. I just kind of spaced out a bit while thinking about Soft Sounds from Another Planet. But yeah, there's some vocal filtering and some reverb on this track that's just phenomenal. I really like her vocal track on this. It's got some very simple like synth organ chords that make me feel like I'm in Space Church, is what I wrote down.
Hell yeah. Space Church.
The guitar comes in. It's very like crisp and clean as the song like really kicks in, and she has this kind of similar to what you described. Lily, is Lily your name, from Beach Bunny? The singer from Beach Bunny, having kind of like a sad sounding voice. Mm-hmm. I feel like Michelle kind of captures a similar thing. It's different, but it's kind of similar in my mind with her vocals on this, and even the music. It just kind of feels kind of somber and sad. The second verse kind of comes in with, it's a bit of a punch, but it's a soft punch, where it's like, it's strangely aggressive, but not like it compared to other aggressive things. It's not aggressive at all. It's still very much this very chilled thing. The slide solo, there's like a lap steel guitar. It kind of felt out of place to me. I don't hate it, but it just, it felt weird.
You can throw a slidey lap guitar into any song and it's right at home, man.
I don't know if that's true.
Like, put it in the middle of just some crazy ass like
maybe that's like, what Hold Your Horses was missing. Is a whole track of lap steel solos. Then I would have loved that album.
If every song was just lap steel, I think you would have liked it more. If it was just
You're probably not wrong.
This song to me felt like a slow waltz through like time. Like, it kind of ebbed and flowed, like a dance. Like this whole song is just a dance
Yeah.
to me. Like it's just kind of going, doing its thing. It picks up at times, but it's just nice. You're holding somebody close. I don't know why you're holding somebody close because, I mean, lyrically, I guess like there is another person
Right.
that they're talking about, but like that's just kind of how it felt to me. Not holding them close like lovingly, but just like
Proximity.
yeah, yeah. Not like, oh, I love you so much, I'm gonna squeeze you into my
Bosom.
me bosom.
I think bosom is the only word to use in that scenario. And that's the only scenario to use the word bosom.
Yep, for sure. But lyrics are, I don't know, it was about, I guess, keeping somebody from their own destructive tendencies, but like destructive for both people. Like,
Yeah.
it's
She kind of like, she did this on another track. She kind of talks about herself in third person as well sometimes, so it's kind of hard to draw the line of who she's talking about, if she's referring to herself in third person or if she's talking about an actual other person. But yeah, it seemed like, at least to me, that this one was about another ex that was apparently miserable, and just trying to bring her down as well, kind of like in a misery loves company kind of thing, where he's like, oh, well, I'm miserable, and I'm just going to make everyone around me feel miserable to feel a little bit better about myself because everyone else is miserable or whatever. And he was always comparing himself to happier people, which is not a good thing to do. That's not going to make you happy. That's only going to make things worse. But yeah, she wanted to fucking get out of that, and she should have, and she did.
And now she made this awesome album, so
It's
everything
true.
worked out.
She's written a lot of songs on this album about exes, though, and I'm not sure how many exes they're actually about, or if it's like one ex that she just has a lot to say about.
One like super toxic person.
Yeah.
Just
Which, I mean, I guess there's at least two exes, I think, from the vibes that I got from some of the things she said in an interview that were exes, one of which is totally chill and fine, or at least she hopes so. But we'll get to that.
yeah, we will get to that. We don't want to let our boyish charm get us fucking, I don't know.
Track number 6 is Boyish.
Boom.
If Roadhead wasn't the first song I heard from Japanese Breakfast, it's this one for sure. I've seen the music video for this one, and because I've seen the video, I'm kind of biased when thinking about the song, but the music for it feels like it's just playing at some like high school prom
Yeah.
kind of a thing. It's got like a simple sweet melody and a simple beat with like some flowing strings and stuff, and it's just, I don't know, it has that feel. And the music video, I believe, takes place in like some big like gymnasium kind of dance at a school, so probably some bias seeping in, but I think it fits.
I mean, I could see it. I mean, I guess I wouldn't necessarily say high school, but it's got more instrumentation, I feel, than like spacey sounds that have been on previous songs. Like it's got the bass forward, it's got other instruments rather than just a lot of the ambience that you hear, especially like with Soft Sounds from Another Planet and Planetary Ambience being the two tracks before it.
Right.
It's more back to like a band sound, I
Sure.
guess. And I mean, it's still got like in the chorus, it's got like some string. I guess they're strings. They sound kind of like strings,
Yeah.
and like xylophones or something coming in to kind of give it that feel. But
That depth.
yeah, depth. There we go. A fuller sound, but
Sounds wide.
Yeah, very wide and big and thick. You know, but yeah, it sounds more like a song that you'd hear a band perform rather than just like an ethereal. Like
Right.
if you stuck your head into space, this would be the music that you hear.
You don't hear music. You don't hear anything in space, Joey.
Yeah, except for the sound of your eyeballs sizzling,
boiling in your skull. Yeah. There's also a very like wavy, like wavering, chill guitar solo
Yeah,
that just kind of follows the vocal melody of the chorus, and it's phenomenal. I really love the chorus in general. Like even lyrically, like the first chorus, she says, "I can't get you off my mind. I can't get you off in general. So here we are. We're just two losers. I want you, and you want something more beautiful," which I think that sums up the song.
yeah.
But it's just, I don't know, it's fun. It's kind of like tongue in cheek. It's kind of edgy in a fun way, I guess.
I guess so. It's sad, man.
Yeah, it is. She feels like she's not being appreciated by her partner, right? Because they want someone else. I don't know. It's just fun hearing her like I think of it as not knowing what's coming.
Yeah.
And you hear her saying, "I can't get you off my mind." And then she goes, "I can't get you off in general," which
Yeah.
is kind of a left turn for the way she's singing it. It's kind of like a smooth, soft kind of, or just her voice is so airy. It's so left field for me, and I love it.
Yeah, I really like that line. Like, if I was going to write a song, I'd petition her that I could use it in some sort of way.
Just pay her royalties. Just
Maybe
sample
that.
her. Just take a sample of her singing it and put it in your song.
Not that I have that problem in real life.
Because you're so well endowed and sexually active.
Yes.
Now we're going sexy for the sake of being sexy.
No, God, that's what gets the listens. Is that
Gets those teenage girls' motors running? You know, that's what the kids want, right?
Keep teenage girls out of this, Jeremy.
I mean, that's what all the boy bands are doing, right? They're selling sex to teenage girls.
Yeah, but they're awful.
Well, yeah, which is why we don't talk about them. Maybe you're right. Maybe we should just take like 12 steps back.
Yeah, take 12
and
steps
refocus, and we can move on to track number 7. 12 steps.
And then take 7 more steps because it's track 7. 12 steps.
Oh my God! Give me 7 steps. Give me 7
steps, Mister. Give me 7 steps and then 12 more.
Yes. These are lyrics from our Leonard Skinner cover band that we're working on.
Can't sue us, Leonard Skinner.
Immediately, 12 Steps has a bit more of a rocky feel than a lot of the album. The guitars and the vocals kind of remind me of another band called Bully, which I might put an album on because you might be into them. I'm not sure.
Fucking do it.
There's this fuzzy ass guitar lick that comes in, and it's just like a new texture on the album because, like you said, like every song leading up to each song is kind of like painting a picture, and then each song after a certain point kind of adds something new, adds a new color to that painting, kind of thing. And in this one, it was kind of this fuzzy, distorted guitar, and then there's another like cleaner but still distorted guitar to do a solo, and it's just, I don't know, it's just fun textures to play around with in this album that I wasn't expecting.
That is a really beautiful sentiment, Jeremy, and I like it. I like it a lot because this whole album could be a painting,
for sure.
And I don't know, a feel that I got from this song is that it's been a long time since I've been to a concert, man. I want to hear this song like outside at some sort of festival.
I
like
can see that.
At like, it's dusk. Dusk is the afternoon, right? When the sun's going down.
Yeah.
There's like wind around.
Like the album art for this album.
Yeah, and like the sun's setting, and she's just playing this song up there, just fucking rocking out, and then I'm just rocking out there in the crowd, you know, covered in mud for some reason, and I feel the wind in my hair that I shaved off.
Muddy hair. No, you're not hair because you shaved.
Shaved all my hair off for whatever fucking reason. But you know, it's nice. It's short and sweet. It's 2.5 minutes long. It's just great. You know, it makes me feel good whenever I listen to it. Not in like a happy way, but like it gives me some comfort. I guess.
Let's be honest. Neither of us ever feel good in a happy way.
Yeah.
Seriously? We only feel good in sad boy ways.
But I'm not gonna. I was gonna extrapolate and then just go off on a tangent. But you know, this song lyrically, it's about the very end of a relationship, and it's like hard to swallow. But I don't know. It seems like a very like chill end of a relationship. Like,
yeah, that's what I was mentioning earlier, where it seemed like one of the relationships she talks about on this album kind of had a very uneventful, undramatic ending, unceremonious ending, perhaps. Where this one, she actually talked about this. The song's about her meeting her current husband. She was dating someone else. She went to a smoking bar called the 12 Steps Bar or something. 12 Steps Down is what it was called. And she saw some guy just performing karaoke or something, and she just like immediately fell in love with him. And so she broke up with her her then boyfriend, I guess. And she said that this song is kind of an apology song, but I don't feel that.
Yeah,
it sounds more to me like she's just hoping that guy understands it and is okay with what happened. Like, she's just seeking justification for leaving him. But I'm sure the guy was pretty torn up about it.
And hopefully he's fine now.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he is now.
Yeah. But you know, yeah. I didn't get apology vibes listening to the song, but you know, I don't know. You said it on NPR, so maybe the guy heard it and was like, okay, gave him some context if he happened to listen to the song. Because surely, if your girlfriend leaves you for some dude
that she just met,
and
you're just a love at first sight connection. Who are you to deny that? First of all, taking her stance. If she has been with you for some time and she
doesn't know,
what?
No, like, okay, so if she's been with a while, if she's been with you for a while and doesn't know enough to not see a guy, like doesn't know that you're the one enough to not just see another guy and be like, that's the dude.
That's the thing. Like, I don't know. It's interesting because I feel like there's this romanticism about love at first sight, right?
Yeah.
Which I'm not going to say doesn't exist, because it clearly does to some extent. It's not like some phenomenon. Well, I guess it is a phenomenon, but like I don't know. Is she wrong in breaking up with her boyfriend because she walked into a bar and just immediately fell in love with some other guy? Is that wrong?
I don't think it's wrong. I don't necessarily think it's like a great thing to do, but I don't think it's wrong. Like okay, I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go out here.
For context, at the time of the NPR interview, she was still with that guy, the guy that she met in the bar. She fell in love at first sight. She married him, and as far as I know, they're still together.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this almost exact situation happened to me with Alyssa, who is.
But you're not married, so it's not legit.
Yeah, it's not legit. We've been together for a long fucking time. I was gonna it's kind of iffy, but 7 years and have a child together, but it's not real because we're not married.
It's not official. It's not Facebook official.
But so this kind of situation, like, we were both with other people when we met, and it wasn't even like, I didn't like literally see her for the first time and was like, I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with you.
Right.
But it's like, I don't know, you see somebody and you're like, shit, I want to pursue this. And as long as you're at least pretty respectful about it, right. I'd like to think that, like, what are you gonna do? Be like, no, I'm with this person right now, so I'm gonna deny myself happiness and potentially just go with this other person.
That's not good for either party.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna be in an unhappy relationship.
It's a bad vibe. I think she made the right call.
Yeah,
it's kind of like frowned upon, I suppose, because when you're in a relationship, I guess depending on the relationship, I guess now a lot of people are pretty open about that kind of thing and having casual relationships or whatever. But like, I feel like as long as the communication is clear and you do it, like you said, in a respectful way, I think Michelle doesn't owe that guy anything. She doesn't belong to anybody.
Yeah, like, and that's the thing. Like, if you enter a monogamous relationship with somebody, I feel like you do have some sort of obligation to not just like go out and like
not actively seek out at the very least.
Yeah, like, but if it just happens, like, you're not like, I don't know. And there is a point, at a certain point, like, where you do get responsibilities with another person where it's like you owe them more than just like randomly seeing a person and be like, well, I'm going to leave you for this person.
Right. But what if it's true love, Joey? What if Alyssa came to you tomorrow and was like, look, I saw this guy. Don't question the context around it, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure she's not going out in public and seeing guys. But if she did, right? If she came home and she was like, look, we've got a kid. I love our kid. I love all of us. We're a happy family. But I saw this guy, and he's the one.
I would probably be like,
you'd feel a little ripped off, right?
I'd be like, no. I think first and foremost, I'd be like, he's the one. You don't believe in that. Like, you don't
put that aside. If it happened,
I'd be like, how do you know? I'd probably ask. That's probably the question I'd ask. Be like, how do you know? Like, what are you talking about?
What's wrong with me?
What's wrong? You see me every day. I'm not the one. I don't know.
This is going nowhere. We're just
literally
talking
nowhere
at this point. but I think it's fun to talk about. So
Yeah, it's a nice thought experiment. And
give
you know what?
us your thoughts in the comments.
Yeah, and maybe once we get big enough, we'll like Jimmy Fallon big. We'll be able to get on the TV and talk about shit like this. But
yeah, we can see what Jimmy Fallon thinks about leaving his lover for someone else.
Yeah, until then, we'll just keep talking about track number 8, Jimmy Fallon big, with an exclamation point.
We're back at it. This one's got some swelling synths.
Oh
kind of introduce a very like driving bass line. I really love the sound of her voice on this album, and in this track it just exemplifies that, I think. And the chill vibey music, just like the aesthetic of this album is fantastic. I love it.
I love that you said swelling synth and driving bass, because that is literally what I wrote. I wrote that. I didn't write it. I typed.
Wait, did I pull up your notes?
I think you did. I think I accidentally sent you that screenshot of my notes earlier.
I'm just reading everything that you already had.
God damn it. But yeah, this one, like the vocals on here, not necessarily like, I don't know, the vocal arrangement. There's a lot of like vocal melody making up the musical arrangement in the chorus here, which is kind of like, it gave me like Enya vibes, where it's like got some, she's using voice as an instrument as well as to tell the lyrics and everything, which is super cool.
Yeah, thing I like. There's not a lot of lyrics in the song, as with a lot of them, but this one is also something that I alluded to earlier, and that the song is about her bassist leaving her other band, which was Little Big League. He got a gig with a separate band that he was told was going to be Jimmy Fallon big, right? That was the quote. That's why the song title's that. And she kind of felt a bit betrayed about it. There weren't any like hard feelings per se. She just felt like she wasn't good enough to be Jimmy Fallon big because her bassist was leaving for another band, kind of a thing. But he plays bass on this album, so they're still friends.
So I guess they didn't get Jimmy Fallon big, did they?
I mean, maybe they did. Maybe Japanese Breakfast is Jimmy Fallon big. I don't fucking know.
Maybe that's what he was talking about. He was like, no, you know, I this is some really crazy like future teller shit. Yeah. But I'm joining this band
because it's going to drive you to make the music that will get you Jimmy Fallon big.
Exactly. And he knew that. This guy is just like some sort of
genius.
He's like not Nosferatu. Who's the guy?
Nostradamus.
Nostradamus. The Nosferatu's vampire.
I love it.
But you know, this guy, I just said it was about a flake. I didn't necessarily like pin the bassist or anything, but yeah, it's like,
look at you. You're being a good boy and not just reading everything. I was just so engrossed in the detail that she gave for some of the songs, because she talked to NPR for apparently a while about this album, and it's fascinating because I don't do lyrics. I'm not a lyric guy. And a lot of this album, the lyrics were like kind of cryptic and not making a whole lot of sense. So I was just like, yeah, I'll just read it. It's kind of interesting. It was kind of reading a story in some way.
Yeah, it's a super interesting story. And
the body is a blade.
And the body is a blade. Boom. Number 9.
We're killing
it. This one, I really like the guitar tone and the guitar line at the start here. It's just, it's I don't want to say driving because it's not like super energetic or anything, but it's very forward moving. It's got this ringing quality that kind of, it hits through the rest of the music at the beginning, at least.
Yeah.
Like the rest of the music is this water, and the guitar line is this blade surfacing through the top of the water that kind of just juts out and sticks out to me. But then it kind of like, as the song continues, it all kind of melds together and gets incorporated into the background. And I really like her voice on this song. I mean, I like her voice on this whole album. I really liked her voice on this song as well, though. And it's just like, it did, however, show like probably the only real issue I have with this album. And it's not a huge issue because it's not there all the time. There's some times where I feel like her vocals are mixed too softly in the music. And you said she doesn't like the sound of her voice. That could be why. I don't know if it's just an aesthetic thing. Because, I mean, it is a sound that a lot of people go for in this kind of general style of music. Like the vocals kind of get melded in with all of it.
Yeah, I think to add to that, a lot of, I'm not going to say a lot, I shouldn't say a lot. Some of the vocals on this album were actually harmonized, I guess, with Craig, the guy that co-produced the album with her. Craig Hendricks apparently has a very nice, like, she called it I think she called it a Disney Prince voice kind of a thing. So he has like some backup vocals that I honestly didn't even notice until I like saw that. But it makes sense having that knowledge and then listening to it that like sometimes he's kind of bolstering her voice, which might kind of create that dissonance for when he's not there. That it would
Yeah.
make her sound a bit softer and less pronounced, I suppose.
Well, there we go. And last note on the music, though, there's like a little harmonica sounding
Yeah,
keys or whatever. You know, I just like it. It's just a little nice touch. You know,
yeah.
it's
We
just
like
cool.
weird instruments.
It's a cool sound because we're weird and quirky people.
Oh
You
my god,
know,
I am so well random.
we did grow up in that era,
We
so
did. So
that's
we can talk about that.
yeah.
Honestly, I didn't have a lot to say about this track until I read her comments from an NPR interview,
Oh,
and I don't think I've ever related to any song so hard,
yeah,
like on a personal level. It's interesting. So like, not in like a sad boy way, even just like it so perfectly describes something. But she said, and I quote, at least from I'm quoting this quote from Genius quoting her NPR thing, but she said the song's about trying to figure out how to be a good person after something really terrible happens in your life. It's about dissociating from trauma and relying on your body to physically keep pushing forward in an attempt to survive. I guess I was begging myself not to fall into a deep depression after my mom died, which obviously my mom's dead. For those who didn't know, my mom did die when I was like 14. But like, I don't know, it's just like the way she worded it and the way that like you can tell that she's been through it because I felt that exact way,
yeah,
and it just allow kind of dissociating, letting your body run its course, letting your body keep living life, even though you're not really present in some way. It's just like I don't know, dissociation. I'm not someone that dissociates a lot, and I don't like. I'm kind of a control freak, so I don't I never really like got into alcohol. I never really got into weed and stuff because like or anything harder than that, obviously, for because like for fear of losing control of my mind and my body, kind of a thing. I like being in control of my own faculties, but at the same time, like it's so apt to like think of your body just kind of running on autopilot and your body just kind of living for you until you can get back to it in some weird way, which I know sounds kind of like supernatural or maybe borderline personality disorder wise, but it's I don't know, it's just the way that summed up. I've never related more to something so specific.
that is like really intense.
It is. And
I
I didn't I don't mean to dump it on you
no,
as like
dude.
some heavy shit because I don't I'm obviously like I'm talking about it, I'm fine. I don't like I don't carry that baggage. I don't have that kind of weight, but it is so accurate to how that situation should be described.
Well, I got that the song was about somebody that was like really important dying. I didn't read that, but that is like I don't know. That's I don't want to say it's cool or good, but it's like
It is. It's cool.
I like
Relating to things is cool.
it is, and like I'm just glad to know from the perspective of somebody who's gone through that
Yeah.
that like this because I mean the song felt really real, but like I don't have like I've lost people, but like I don't know to have a song connect on that deep of a level
Yeah.
is something, man.
It's weird. It's crazy. It's awesome. It's scary.
Yeah.
It's life.
And but that is like a real deal. Like whenever something just like in like I don't know. I feel like you have like everybody has just a few moments in their life where like just something happens
Right.
that is like so far beyond anything that you would have ever expected to happen. Like in a crushing way, in a good way, and oh, I don't know, just
You get smacked out of your own body for a minute.
yeah, where you're just like even like it can happen sometime with really intense like physical pain, but like I feel like
Mhm.
emotional pain is just like yeah, it's like you're above just watching things and you're just kind of just like stuck there. You're like in
Yeah.
stasis, at least like mentally, until life can just continue, and it's just
It's fucking crazy.
yeah,
You do that and you rein yourself back in and you repeat the cycle until you die. Till death.
yeah, till death, man. At least until track 10.
Track number 10, Till Death. This one has some more crashing waves sounds and some light keys and stuff, which is kind of a nice vibe in itself. The bass comes back in very smooth, and it perfectly like fits the dainty vibe of the intro to this track in some ways, where it's not like so prominent, but it's gentle and it's smooth. I'm just gonna keep saying smooth over and over again because that's the best way that I can describe it. There's some fucking trumpet solo happening in the song, which was so unexpected. It shouldn't have been because there was a saxophone solo earlier, but there's some trumpeting that goes on that was kind of welcome. I think because I like trumpets. Trumpets are cool, man.
Trumpets are really fun. All horns. Just any horns. Give me
just
horns.
Any instrument. Just give me instruments and music. But yeah, then the final chorus comes in, and it's just, it gets so big and so like noisy with like these church bells and horns and all sorts of shit going on. It really ends on like a high note, and then it kind of fades into the. No, it doesn't. I lied. I skipped ahead. It doesn't fade in.
I can't believe.
I'm sorry, man. I'm excited. My brain's reading notes while I'm talking, which I can't multitask.
Yeah, I can't either. I try to read books because I'm a dad, and you have to read books when you're a dad. And I just can't do it. I can't like read with my eyes.
Maybe this is our wake up call. Maybe we shouldn't do a podcast, Joey.
No, we have to. We've started it. We've done it for a year. We can't. This sunk cost, man.
We have to do it for at least another week.
At least another. Yeah, that is true. We have to do it for at least another week. But this song, like the end of it, how it got really big, like it started to remind me of like a Frank Sinatra like type song, where it's just like that old like big band type thing, where it's like this huge, grandiose thing, and she pulls it off really fucking well, I think, as someone who really enjoys that type of music.
Yeah, and to be clear, it's still not like, this is not like a Frank Sinatra jazz song.
No.
But it definitely captures that kind of the vastness of it.
Yeah.
I think the bigness of it.
And this song, I don't know, I guess it's about like her husband, maybe. Yeah. Like I just kind of thought it was generally about like someone who is really important to you, like your like partner, husband, wife, whoever is like always with you, helping you through shit. I don't know, just having a partner to get you through all the crazy shit that goes on in life.
Which is a nice sentiment.
Very nice.
It's kind of funny. I mean, it's called Till Death, right? Yeah. And she's kind of taking it in like a. Again, it's kind of tongue in cheek, but also not really. She's dwelling a lot on death, right? She's saying when you're getting married to someone, you're doing so till death do you part, right? Which is obviously, when you break it down and focus on the death part, it's kind of dark, right? You're saying like, you know, you're gonna be with me, and then I'm gonna die. We're gonna die, and she I think had. I don't know if she still does, but she kind of talked about in one of the other songs, I think, the fear of death and the fear of dying. Oh, it is this one. She the last word in the song is Stanitophobia, which is the fear of death. So yeah, like, I don't know. I thought it was interesting where she's like reflecting and being thankful about her husband, who's been with her through some pretty tough times, but also still like kind of acknowledging. I mean, the last chorus, she says, "Your embrace healing my wounds, teach me to breathe, teach me to move, PTSD, anxiety, genetic disease, Stanitophobia," where she's just like, she is a mess of a person, and she has a lot of issues and anxieties and stuff, but that's all soothed, that's all made easier because of her husband. It's very, very nice.
It is absolutely insane what two people can get through. How much it's way more than double what one person can get through.
Yeah, it's the Gestalt theory, right? Where the sum of the parts is, or the whole is greater than the sum of the parts, or whatever.
Gestalt.
Yeah,
Gestalt.
Gestalt.
Are you German?
Yeah.
Did you take German?
We both
or something?
German, Joey. We were in the same German class for a year.
We had the same teacher.
We did.
Yeah, just 1 year. Not all years. We were only in the same high school for 3 years.
That's true. Because you're a youngin'.
Yep, I'm 1 year younger because, you know.
But in this house, that doesn't matter.
Yeah, and in this house, track 11 is called This House.
we need to wrap this shit up.
Yeah.
We're going off the rails today. This one's got acoustic.
Rails.
It's got no frills. It's still. I mean, it has some frills, I guess. Her vocals still have a lot of like reverb and very like wispy. I think it would have been more interesting to have just like a raw vocal track from her.
Yeah.
But again, she doesn't seem to like her own voice, so I totally get it. But yeah, and then the piano comes in as like some nice accompaniment. It's not like overwhelming. It's not like the focus or anything. And the track just kind of like slowly builds and assembles itself, but never really like hits that big, crazy, overwhelming sound of the last track. And then it ends fading into the next track with some kind of like low, ominous droning of the like sustain from the piano, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, this is a really, really good ending track. Like, it's just really lyric forward, I guess, because I mean the music is pretty. I mean, I really like the music. It's very nice and stripped back for a lot of it, and there's a lot of like ambience near the end, especially
Yeah.
of the song.
Yeah,
But
and it fades into track number 12 is called "Here Come the Tubular Bells,"
yeah,
is just kind of an outro track. It takes that sustained piano that's kind of growling, and then it layers in some like church bells ringing, and it gets more distant and fades away, and that's the end of the album. So
yeah,
we don't really need to talk about that track, I guess, as much as a separate thing. So I kind of lump them together. But
yeah. I'm down to put them together because yeah, it's just 40. It's 40 seconds of like an ending ambient track. So about like with bells and it's called. I mean, tubular bells, I guess, is what they are.
yeah,
So that's what the track's
here come
called.
the tubular bells. Yeah.
But like this song, the lyrics are just I don't know. It's a theme that I like to think about a lot.
My first note is I think this one might resonate with Joey a bit in some aspects, or at
Dude,
least what Michelle has said about the track.
this one
She talks about nostalgia.
I was reading the lyrics and I actually did read her NPR thing where it's like because I was reading the lyrics and I was like, "Ooh, this is really interesting." And right to the right of where I'm looking, it just has her talking about what it is. But
Yeah,
I don't know, just the the feeling of wanting to go back but realizing that nothing is ever going to be the way it was at the time you want to go back to.
right.
Like you're a different person now. You can't become you can recreate all the situations from your past, but you're not that person anymore. That person does not exist. The
Right.
person's not you. The person's not real anymore. Like they're only as real as you can remember them, at least.
Yeah,
And
their only existence is in your memory.
so, like, I don't know. You can go on trying to relive your past, which is something I try to do often for whatever fucking reason. And, but the one thing that is required to get back there is the one thing you can't make. You can't get it again. It's gone. The me who just said that last sentence is fucking gone. So
Joey's
how
changed dramatically in the last 5 seconds.
so how can you expect somebody from like years ago to be the same person? Like, and
Yeah,
if and you should really be scared if somehow you are the same person as like 10 years ago or whatever. But
which is crazy. 10 years, man. It sounds like a long time, but in the grand scheme of things, 10 years is fucking nothing, man.
yeah, I
Just scary,
graduated.
but
I
awesome.
graduated from high school 9 years ago. 9 years ago this month, really. So
Holla
you
holla.
did 10. You fucking when are you
I
gonna
did
do
my
your
time.
when are you gonna do your 10-year anniversary, Jeremy? Is that a thing people still do?
I have no fuck. I don't think it is. I won't attend if they do because
You don't want to.
I'm not that kind of person.
You don't want to go back and see all the people.
Fuck that. I don't live in the past like some people in this podcast. I don't try to recapture that time. I don't know. There's this is totally off topic. I'm just going to briefly say there are people that think high school was the best time of their life. There are people that think it was the worst time of their life and they don't want anything to do with it. I'm neither of those. It was just a time, and I neither care in either direction about it.
You just get one of those. You'd be the person to go to like a super cool place. Not that saying that high school is super cool, but like I don't know if you got a shirt, it would be like high school. I was there, not like class
Right.
of 20, whatever.
Yeah,
Be
definitely.
like, I went there. That's where I was for 4 years.
Right. Back to the song though, quickly. I kind of got a different feel from the song in that it seemed to me about that she was like pondering about how fickle people are and how fickle relationships are, and she's talking about like the way she views relationships, she's kind of worried, kind of anxious about it, about like saying, oh, are they just here because it's convenient for them, right? Are they just staying with me because they don't want to feel alone all the time? Or when are they going to leave for someone else? Which is kind of ironic because she left someone for someone else, which is maybe she feels guilty about it, and that's kind of why she's worried about it happening to her. But the final lines of the song kind of put that anxious thinking to rest by saying, well, whatever this is, I owe it to my partner because it kept me sane through all the shit that's happened. So she's kind of like acknowledging her concerns and how fickle she thinks relationships are. But she's like, well, at the same time, without this relationship, even if it should end, I would not have made it through the same way, kind of a thing.
Yeah. Like every experience that you have shapes who you are and what experiences you have in the future. So that's why I live my life with no regrets, man.
No regrets. Get that tattooed, boy. Your first tattoo is not going to be a mimicry of mine.
I think I can't do it because you did it, but damn, I want to do
I'm
it.
the only person in the world that has one because I call dibs on it.
Damn it. Well, you know what? I'm calling dibs on announcing next week's album.
Yes! Do it, Joey. What are we listening to next week?
Next week. This week, next week, whatever. Our next podcast that we put out is going to be about the latest release from Mr. Porter Robinson.
Ugh.
And it's called Nurture. And, we've already listened to it because it came out, last Friday?
It came out fucking 5 days ago.
Was that Friday?
It came out this past weekend on Friday.
Yeah.
The 23rd of April, 2021. And this is an album that I've been excited for a while. Since the first singles. I've been listening to all the singles as they came out. I've been super excited about it. We did Worlds, which was his first album last year. And we found out that if we record next week our discussion on Nurture, Porter's new album, that we can release it on the 11th of May, which is going to be a Tuesday. So if you're an avid listener, I say knowing that nobody is an avid listener, we're going to release it a day later. But it'll be exactly 1 year from when we released the episode for Worlds, which was kind of fun. And I'm super excited to talk about Nurture because, boy, it's an album, and I've been listening to it so much this week and so much the past year as the singles have come out. I feel like I've really grown with the album, even though it just came out last Friday. I'm stoked to talk about it.
The only thing I will say is that I'm coming at it from a standpoint of not listening to any of the singles, and it just
blew you away.
In some sort of way. I will not say one way or the other.
I know you like it. The very
okay.
least.
We'll leave it in. I like it. How about that?
We'll talk about it next week. I'm fucking pumped for it. I've already written more than I usually write for something. Not really. I haven't done track by track, but I've written notes for an album that we haven't even technically started our cycle for, which never happens, and I'm loving it. And we're gonna talk about it next week.
Yep.
So be sure to stay in our feedback loop.
Bye.